Everyone. What I want to share to you for today are some guidelines and tips in planning your course content in preparing your module. The learning process has been influenced by the expansion and evolution of computers, network, and multimedia technologies. Those technologies allow the learners to participate in an active and self-paced learning environment. Actually, technologies were not necessarily changing the way of teaching subjects or courses. What has changed, in fact, is the discipline of teaching resources at the teachers' and learners' behavior. They have added interest to the course content and delivery. As the content, school is moving toward developing a highly interactive multimedia learning content. Most web-based contents have been developed using text, image, sound, and video, but failed to induce interactivity contents. Therefore, the ability to construct effective, useful, usable, and satisfying electronic contents remains one of the major obstacles in e-learning because the educational design is complex, and the main aim of developing e-content is to achieve specified goals in education and place the learner needs at the center of the learning process. Example identifies six main types of content. We have facts, procedures, concepts, principles, interpersonal skills, and attitude. Of course, the types of learning content, when we say facts, unique, specific information that answers the questions who, where, and when. Facts are shown, exhibited, or indicated. Example, data, list, historical events, and others. How about the procedures? A procedure is a series of clearly defined steps aiming to perform a task. Procedures answer the questions how to. Example, instruction for creating a table in Microsoft Word. Instruction in opening a Dev C++ programming. For concepts, a concept is a group of objects, entities, or ideas that are defined by a single word or term, share common characteristics, differ in an important characteristics, require a definition, and answers the question what is. Example, the concept of climate change. Another one is principles. A principle or rule describe a relationship between two concepts. For example, as price increases, the supply increases. Some principles can be translated into strategic guidelines which can guide decisions in complex tasks. Example, guidelines for facing COVID-19, guidelines for facing price volatility. The next one is interpersonal skills, verbal and nonverbal skills for interacting with other people. For example, content related to negotiating or solving group conflict. And the last is attitudes, predisposition of behavior. Example, content related to appreciate the importance of and urgency of adopting measures for limiting the negative impacts of COVID-19. Components we will work on our course. In planning a course, we will focus on writing the learning objectives per module of a course. You will be introduced to models of writing learning objectives and will be formulating learning objectives in your course. Planning a course is not always linear but typically involves a series of steps. A course plan demonstrates our values and beliefs about higher education in general and what we believe about our roles as professor or teachers specifically. The following steps describe alternative planning decisions you can make in regard to your own course. As mentioned by Ryan and Martin, here is the steps in planning course. Step 1. Define your view of the purpose of education. If it is to make the world a better place, you'll want to use contemporary social issues to help students learn the rules in accomplishing this goal. If it is to teach students to think effectively, you'll need to plan student interaction, employing the intellectual skills of observing, classifying, applying, analyzing, and evaluating. If it demands systematical instructional processes, you'll need to specify course goals and objectives clearly with the processes designed to achieve them. But if it is to engage students in personally enriching experiences, then you need to select individualized content so students will discover themselves as unique individuals and develop personal autonomy. If it should emphasize the great ideas or the products, the software or the program and discoveries of the human mind, you must select content from the discipline to illuminate major ideas and concepts of important thinkers. It should, if it should help students clarify their beliefs and values to provide guidance in their lives, you must plan exercises which consider the merits of alternative values. Step 2. Set course goals. The goals for your course should reflect some of those identified for the department or for the program. Usually, your course can be located on a curricular map. For example, it might be described as a general education course for students with limited background in the discipline, or a general education course for prospective majors and others, or a general education course for all universities and colleges students, or an introductory course for prospective majors, an introductory course in a technical career program, an advanced course for majors, or for a graduate course. Ask this question: how should students be different when they finish this course? Is there consensus in your discipline on what should be included in such a course? Number 3, select course content. Careful selection of content will reflect the most important topics. Question to ask include: does your topic illustrate a method of inquiry, or teach a valuable skill among course goals, or indicate guiding principles in your field? These steps requires a balance so that there is sufficient content to make the course challenging and not so much content that the pace of the course is too rushed. Leave room in case a topic takes longer or other unpredictable events occur. Use student feedback devices to adjust coverage rate. Step number 4, arrange course content. Organization of the content is extremely important in enhancing students' learning. Content can be arranged in several ways. Structurally based content is consistent with the way relationships in the field occur. For example, spatial, chronological, physical, and others. But if it is for conceptually based content, uses major ideas or concepts to show important relationships, such as relationship of classes and groups of objects or phenomena, relationship of theory to application of theory, or rule to example or evidence to conclusion, relationship that proceed from simplest ideas to those of more complexity and abstractness, or relationship of logical sequence in which one idea is necessary to comprehend the next. Another is learning-based content is organized by principles such as students should first learn skills that are likely to be useful later in life, or students should encounter familiar ideas and simple phenomena before those that are more unfamiliar and complex. Students should understand an idea or concept before attempting to interpret and use it, and the student should encounter material geared to their readiness to learn. For vocationally based content, it helps students become familiar with practice and employers' needs. For knowledge utilization content, it is arranged so problem-solving situation encourage students to take responsibility to developing logical, organized solutions. Knowledge creation-based content is organized around processes of generating, discovering, or verifying knowledge in the field. It shows how scholars discover relationship and draw valid inferences. And for values-based content, it is organized around issues, dilemmas, ethical problems, or value dimensions that help students clarify and become committed to values and beliefs. Number 5 is consider student goals and characteristics. These steps, course, why are students taking your course? Some reasons may be to develop a philosophy of life, learn to interpret numerical data, understand scientific principles or concepts, become a, an informed politician, learn to communicate effectively, pass a certificate or licensing exam, learn to solve complex problems, learn to organize ideas, or understand how researchers gain knowledge. They also may be there to get a better job or meet social expectations. The match between your goals and those of your student is important. Try asking students what their goals are. Share your goals and explain why they are important. What background have your students had and what external pressures are they working? Of course, the answers help guide your piece. Of course, it is advisable to use both active and passive modes of instruction. Lecture is the most common passive mode, while active modes include discussion, case studies, laboratories, clinics, and field experiences. Research about teaching and learning shows that students learn more content more quickly and retain what they have learned longer if they are actively engaged. A combination of the two modes often works well. Step number 7 is, of course, selecting readings and activities. Still, textbooks can be used as an organizing source which integrates the course content. Tell the students how you expect them to use the text in their learning and what is useful about it. But don't forget, not criticize it or the author. This isn't constructive and it can undermine learning. If discrepancies occur between your views and the text, explain the rival interpretations exist and give reasons of your choice. You can encourage realization that clear truths are not always agreed upon. Do clarify for students which ideas are acceptable for examinations. If textbooks are not used, you'll need to help students organize and integrate knowledge in the course. Monographs and articles can provide, or journals can provide depth of information, demonstrate research processes. It provides a variety of perspectives and provide up-to-date ideas. Of course, a combination might be useful. Number 8, or step number 8, is construct a syllabus. The syllabus formally communicates your expectation, grading procedures, and assignments. The following elements are often included: your name and contact information, your course number, section and title, and meeting schedule, prerequisites for the course, description of the course along with course outcome, and intended learning outcome. Required materials, text and supplies, space for names and telephone numbers of at least two classmates, class schedule with topic and reading sequence, due dates for assignments and dates and times for exams, grading standards and criteria, including late work policy, policies regarding attendance, participation, and academic integrity. Number 9 is plan to get student feedback. The following indicators can help collect information for revision, exams or quizzes, observe students' face and body language. For example, if you have a Zoom meeting or you are using Google Meet for meeting, of course, monitor participation and attendance, monitor frequency of out-of-class discussion or use of office hours, monitor assignment completion, analyze students' papers or journals or outputs, examine course evaluation, and ask students directly. The best time to make your own notes about needed changes is after each class session. Number 10 or step number 10 or last step is seek advice from colleagues and experts. Again, even we have an expertise for this course or our handle subject, still it is advisable for us to seek advice from colleagues and experts. Colleagues from the field can provide useful ideas for planning your course on topics such as instructional modes, test construction, and student feedback. Your discipline may have teaching journals which have useful ideas. So I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I'm hoping that you can subscribe, watch, and like. Don't forget, hashtag DocMelo, the author. Thank you and Godspeed everyone.